So here's what I'm going to use. This is a foam I bought. I think you get 4 for £1 in the pound shop in the UK. I'm sure they have similar things in America and around the world. Basically, I think it goes on to a push bike handle. It's quite a good density of foam, so I think it's going to be great for what we need to do. It will reduce vibration and it's going to be easy to work with. Need a craft knife. Again, bought this in the pound shop. You got all this for £1. Quite amazing really, and they're ideal for anything you're doing with these. You might have all these products already, so it's not going to cost you a penny. Some super glue, because that really works well with all of the different foams I've used, and a pen, and obviously the most important thing to affix the camera to the quad, a couple of elastic bands. I'm going to be using the Yami Yi camera, which has been a little bit through the walls, but it works absolutely fine, and I'm going to do a full review on this, I hope, soon. So I need to have this as a template for what I need to cut out with my foam. So I've got my foam here, and basically want this to sit in the foam there. So I need to mark the foam out first of all, and I'm going to use the pen to do that. So I don't really want to mark the camera, so what I'm going to do is just use something that takes me up to the same height as the camera. So it just happens to be this box. I use anything that's around, to be honest, and that's going to come in just the same height as the camera. It doesn't have to be this accurate, I just thought I'd do it this way for YouTube really. I usually just cut away, and then if it goes wrong I just do another one, sort of thing. But this is a good way of doing it. I suppose it's good practice as well. So just need to mark it where I want it to go. So the nice thing about this, should be the same sort of height. There we go. Pretty much so, that's worked. I'll get that out of the way. And then I'm going to cut it down basically to this bit here. So I just want to remove all of this material. So the camera's going to sit here. Let's put those on either side. There we go. And then this will work in the same way. Holding the pen flat down, it's going to basically draw a line up the side, as you can see there. Then if I don't move this, it should be equal on the other side. There we go. Forgot to mention, you should really do this on a cutting board. If not, you're going to wind up with it on your table. This will clean off though, don't worry. Right, I need to cut this now. What I actually want to do is to go up at an angle, because I want the camera to be facing down, slightly downwards, so that I avoid getting the props in. I really don't like getting the props in if I can help it, sort of thing. So I can just simply go from the bottom bit here, and I'm just going to go up to this top bit here. Use whatever scalpel you like. There's a whole host of them in these things, which is great. You can try whatever you like. I'm going to give it a go with this one. I've not tried this one before, so we'll just see how we get on. And then I want to cut it down, from this angle here, because the camera's going to be leaning forward. So I want the camera to lean slightly forward, to tilt forward, sorry, not lean forward. So I'm going to cut this again, probably from up here, and then cut down to the bottom bit of the mark there. Well, the nice thing is we've got loads of material here, so if I need to do it again, I can do it again and again, and it really hasn't cost me anything. There we go, that's our camera mount here. So that's going to sit like that, and as you can see it's got a slight lean forward on it, and I probably will mount it in the middle here as well, so the lens will line up with it, but this will all make more sense when we get finished. Something I've never really been a big fan of is these actual teeth to try and make it look like a tarantula or something. I'm actually going to use this to locate it in the same position every time I put it on, which is going to make life a lot easier for me. So I've changed the blade over to a more pointed one. And I'm basically just going to get this flat and level, line up the so-called teeth on the tarantula, just mark it in there, and I'm just going to punch this through, hopefully avoiding my fingers. If not, you'll see what casualty looks like in the Highlands of Scotland. There we go. So just push that through just a wee bit, just a tiny bit, and then just get that to fit on like that. And it actually sits there quite nicely now. You might be able to see the teeth actually coming through there. So that'll be in the same position every time. I'm going to use the cutting mat for this next bit. And basically I'm going to want the camera to sit slightly back, slightly forward, sorry. So I'm going to put this bit here just slightly more forward, so it gives the camera a little bit of a slight point down. We can also adjust this when it's on the quad, and I'll show you how we do that later. But basically I don't really want to get the props in, so I'm going to want this just overhanging just a wee bit like that. I'm going to slightly just cut into here just to make this fit here a bit better, and then super glue it together. And then all I'm going to do is just fix that onto there, slightly forward, and then if need be I can always cut this back through anyway. So get me trusty super glue, which I found the best thing for gluing foam, and it seems to work really well. And just a little drop, that should just pool on the top there. Ooh, that's quite a big drop actually. Oh crikey, that's a heck of a lot. Don't usually use that much. Oh well, we'll see what happens. So now I'm just going to fit this back onto the quad. There, it's going in quite easy now. Let's sort of cover that top bit as well. Now the next bit I want to do, because it's now going to start tilting the camera back up as this bends, it's tended to do that, so I'm going to actually cut into here just to let this sit up into this bit where the quad goes up at an angle behind the sort of teeth area. So just mark that with the scalpel, just sort of there. Get the quad out again, there we go. And then I know I'm just going to cut through that little bit there. So that's the front cut, and then I need to do another little cut a little bit further back. I just want to get through, so just into the actual hole there. This is how it looks on the final assembly. There we go. As you can see, that's going to sit. I can actually put some pressure on there if I wanted to, which will angle the camera down if need be. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. I just realised it looks like I've muzzled my quad to stop it biting anyone. But anyway, so basically the camera's going to go here, as we spoke about. So it's going to all look pretty good. Got to fit on the elastic bands. I'm sure there'd be a super technical term I could come up with for quad elastic bands, but I find these absolutely brilliant for holding cameras. I've held every camera, every bit of quad back together with these sort of elastic bands. They're great. There we go, so we're ready now. Everything's in position. I'm actually putting it so the lens is in the centre of the quad rather than put the camera in the centre. Just makes it easier to make sure I keep the props out of the way. and then simply just pull these round. Just go around the lens, and that's just going to pull that way, and obviously it's going to try and twist it all until we get the other one on. There we go. There we have. It's slightly pointed upwards at the moment, but we can adjust that. The way to do that is pull some tension in on the bottom of the elastic band and make it slightly looser. There we go, on the top. Do the same for the other one. Pull a bit of tension at the bottom, looser at the top. There we go, it's started to tilt in now. There we go. It's sitting pretty good, I'd say. Nice thing is, should take out any of the jello and everything, and should work a treat, I think. Now all we'll have to do is get the angle right to make sure I haven't got the props in, or if I get a bit of the props in, then I'll accept it. So I'm using the Yami Yi app, so I can actually look through the camera and get it checked. So turn the camera on, and then flick the Wi-Fi on. There we go. And then the app is running on my. This is actually a Huddler reel, cheapo from Tesco's, but it does work. It doesn't always connect. I must admit, I've found it a few times that it's not the best Wi-Fi in the world, and certainly if you're trying to fly FPV, it would be absolutely useless on this, because the delay is really bad, which I shall show you. So hopefully you're going to manage to see that. You can just see a little bit of the prop in there. So it's just going to clip through. That's not bad. It's a pretty wide lens, obviously. But no, pretty happy with that. I might adjust it a little bit more, see whether I can get rid of it, but I'll give it a flight like this and we'll see what we think of the video.